everyone, welcome back to my vlog. New hair, look at this. My name is Ronke Giwa Onofua. Thank you very much for watching my video. This is a series chronicling my broadcast journey. I've been broadcasting for over 12 years and it's been such an amazing journey. So thank you to all of those who have been watching the video. Special thanks to all of those who are not even trying to get on radio or you're not in the industry. You just really love watching me. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so today's topic is going to be another interesting part of my journey. I've talked to you about how I go on radio, talked to you about quite a few other things as well. Now I'm going to do a two-part series within this series. So this part A is going to be talking about the downsides of broadcasting. Yep. You know, when someone says good news or bad news, which one do you say first? Answer in the comment section. I think I always say bad news because then I want the good news to sort of just, you know, be the icing over it, to just soothe me. So I think I always, what does that say about people who choose bad news first? I don't know. We're not, you know, serial killers or anything. But anyway, so I'm going to talk to you first about the bad side or the downsides for me of broadcasting. And I have a long list. So stay tight. Well, it's not so long because you know my videos are never too long. So don't go away. All right, so the first part for me is the comparison. Oh my days, when you're on radio, you will be compared. No matter who you are, you're going to get someone who will say, oh, you sound like this person. Oh, you're starting to sound like this person. Or I was listening in my car and I thought it was this person. And if you're anything like me and you hate being compared, no matter who it is, even if you say, oh, you know, oh, you sound like Oprah Winfrey. I love Oprah Winfrey, you know I do. But nobody wants to become, if you're a creative, I think there's a pet peeve to sort of be compared to somebody. But in this industry, people sort of often think they're doing your or paying you a compliment as well when they compare you to somebody, especially someone that's really, you know, really good. I do not like to be compared to anybody. I like to sound authentic, sound original, sound like myself. But of course, there's always sometimes, or there will always be someone who you sound a little, you know, similar to. So I get it, but that's the downside for me. I hate being compared. Number two is the criticism. Oh my days. I talked about this in previous episodes where I talked about, you know, everyone and their pet thinks that, you know, they can have a say about how you do your job. And I'm always like, don't come for me. But anyway, yeah, so I really hate that because, you know, sometimes you give your best and you do your, you know, you do your best and you give your all. And then when you get criticized, it can be very hurtful because the thing about creatives is like wear your heart on your sleeve and you're putting yourself out there. It's like putting yourself out there and someone just shutting you down. It can be really tough. So as creatives, you're sort of putting your heart out there and offering it to people. And so when they criticize you, it can really hurt. Even though as a creative, you must not be averse to criticism. Criticism is good. And like I said last week, you must have thick skin. So there's a difference between constructive criticism and destructive criticism. So someone comes to you and says, you are rubbish. Look at what you just did, nonsense. I mean, shut that kind of person out and never listen to that kind of person because those people are coming from a place of hate. If you're criticizing, it must be from a place of love and correction. So yes, definitely always be open to criticism. Be around people who can tell you, you know, you could have done better. You know, you didn't, you know, rehearse. You know, you didn't research. You know, you just went on air because you thought you have a nice voice. You know, you could have done better than that. Yeah, listen to people like that who can say, oh, how about you read this book and read that book and, you know, prepare better next time. Now that is criticism as opposed to, oh, you're rubbish, you're nonsense. That's ridiculous. That's not criticism. You should never, and nobody should ever do that to anybody else. So you should never do that to anybody else. All right. Next one is working during the holidays. If you're a broadcaster and this has happened to you before, is it that you have to work during Christmas or New Year's or something? Your shift will fall on a holiday. For example, today, well, you're not watching this the day I'm recording it, but the day I recorded this is actually the day of Eid, you know, so the Muslim festival. So I'm at work today. I have to be at work. You can't tell your boss, you know, it's Christmas. So I remember when I was serving as a young youth corper, young broadcaster, and then my shift fell on a Christmas day, and then of course my family lives in Lagos. I thought I wanted to visit my family, and I remember my employer my boss looking at me like, welcome to radio, darling, because hey, if your shift falls on Rapture Day, well, let's hope you make it. Well, you have to be here and you have to work and announce to everybody that we have left and you are here. But basically, that's another downside of radio that a lot of people do not know. So you cannot say, oh, no, it's my birthday, I'm not coming to work, except you take the day off ahead of time. Then, of course, you can take the day off. But your shift falls on Christmas Day, they want to spend time with your family. People that are listening to you, they have family, they have to listen to radio, Anyway, another one is working when whether you're happy or sad. So radio is not determined by how you feel. You know how they say the show goes on. So if you're on radio, whether someone just slapped you in the face, you are going on air, you may not necessarily show or let people know what happened. And I say may not necessarily because I think that you can swing your story, you can tell a story and even make it interesting. So as opposed to coming on radio and giving everybody a bad day because you've had a bad day, you can actually make a twist or twist it into actually telling a story and making it a memorable or teachable moment for people. So I wouldn't say that you cannot have a bad day on radio, but it shouldn't be that you're having a bad day, so I'm not doing my job properly today because I really don't care, someone just slapped me. But you can actually twist it into, you know what guys, welcome to the show. Today is not a good day for me, but I will tell you what happened to me because this is going to be an amazing story. I'm going to come back after this short break to tell you this story. Something really horrible. Do you know that people actually stay tuned to come and hear you? So yes, you can tell your story in a way that people actually want to hear it, as opposed to I'm having a bad day and hello everybody, welcome to the show. I don't care about you guys. So that's the thing. So that's why I say not necessarily. So you may be having a bad day, but you can spin it in a way that you tell your story on radio. So it's about authenticity at the end of the day. That's my watchword. Authenticity. So if you're authentic, if you're having a bad day, you can actually share with your audience in a way that they can learn something from your bad day, as opposed to, you know what, I don't care today, I'm just going to be rubbish on radio. You can't do that. Another downside on radio for me has been the times when I felt stuck. Radio is one of those places you can be in for years and you would not have moved and you'll be there celebrating yourself. I want you to understand what I'm saying. You can grow on radio. Just because you're an OAP doesn't mean you're doing the same thing. You've been doing the same thing for years. I mean, what employer will even keep you? You've been doing the same thing and not evolving. But apart from evolving, you may even be interesting on radio. I think that even in your organization as a radio station, you must be able to grow in there. Do you understand? So it's not the same old, you've been doing that shift for 10, 15, 12 years. Have you grown in the organization? Have you grown? Have you mentored? Are you now mentoring people? Are you a role model in a way that you have people? What are you doing outside of your job on radio? So radio sometimes can make you feel stuck. I remember those times in my life where it just felt like, so what is life? I can be a bit melancholy sometimes. So where am I going from here? I've been on radio, yes. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and then you're feeling like, okay, so where do I go from here? I remember those moments and I'm really thankful that I've been able to get through it. So maybe I'll do a separate video on, growing on radio and how to sort of chart your growth, how to ensure that you're not stuck in the same place, but everybody's hailing you and calling you, a champion. Everyone knows your name, but you're stuck. You're stuck. So you must be growing on radio because radio is one of those places where you will feel stuck and you will not know. No, you will know, but people may not know that you're stuck. You're there doing the same OAP work since forever and you don't have anything that you can call your own. So like I said, I'll do a separate video on that because that's a story for another day. All right, another downside of broadcasting for me has been perception, public perception. It's either, you've heard all sorts of things about OAPs and broadcasters. Either you hear that the ladies are loose, or, people think, oh, you're what you're not. And it's not necessarily that you're putting up a front or anything, but people just, I guess it's easy to idolize, your favorite radio presenters, etc. So sometimes when you want to eat, corn on the road, you're there and you can't be yourself because you already have built up this expectation of you. So you want to be yourself sometimes, but, on radio, I always say that it's not about, yes, you must be authentic, but it's like a refined version of you. So people go to bed dreaming of that who's always made up, always sounds very refined, etc. So that perception, or the perception that, you must have plenty money and there are people who are waiting at your door trying to get their school fees from you, or etc. Or people just build up all sorts of perception about you. And so, that can be good, for your brand, but then it can be bad because on the day when that's why I like to project, the good, the bad, and the ugly side of myself on social media. You see some of my pictures without, makeup. You see some of my videos where I'm just at home chilling with my family, because I don't want to be able to not want to buy Bolly if I want to buy Bolly. Please don't use your reggae, spoil my blues. I want to be able to be myself at any point. I want to be able to be glamorous. I want to be able to be, look like a hag. That's something the cat just dragged in. I want to be able to be me at every time. So it's important to balance it so people don't build up this perception of you and then it's like, oh my god. All right, last but not the least, and I know you hear this one often, and so it's not news anymore. So if you're trying to get on radio and you're thinking you're trying to get on radio because you want to make lots of money, well, the downside is that's another public perception that people have. And the thing is, radio is not a high paying job at all. It is not. Yes, I think it's better than when we started, you know, and I think it depends on how you, radio is a means to an end. Yeah, let's put it that way. So you get on radio is not to get, you know, a fat salary. It's to use your platform to actually start side hustles, you know, and then make money. So I don't think there's any radio station that pays that big fat salary, but I think that there are opportunities. So that's the good side, which I'll talk about next time. So the downside is that no, radio job is not a high paying job. It's not where you can earn millions of naira as a salary. No. So that's the downside. So yes, you can be working. Everybody can think you're this, you know, you are this rich, you know, baby girl and all of that because you are, you know, I always say that fame without fortune is a misfortune. And radio can really do that to you, where there's this perception that, hey, you are balling, you are, you know, your Instagram feels like, but it's like at the end of the month, by the time you get that credit alert, it's like, oh my days. And then and in the meantime, you borrowed all sorts to go and keep up to look good on Instagram and all of that. So radio is not a, you know, high paying job. It's just a means to an end, you know, to get that, you know, side hustle and all of those things going. So those are the things that I would personally say are the downsides of working on radio or being a broadcaster for me. So if you're a broadcaster, I would particularly like to know if you can add more to this list. So please share your wealth of wisdom in the comment section. And also, if you know a broadcaster as well, share some more that you think, oh, I totally hate this job because, you know, share your reasons in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing your comments. Thank you for sharing this to your social media community as well. I really appreciate it. And I think that this is something that lots more people would need to watch. So let's get our view count up. All right, my name is Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. Catch you next time.